seems to be several other people who may have been involved in it. Perhaps the Delhi police may have been successful in busting this network and in turn avoiding any untowards happening during the Republic Day. But it seems now that there may have been several associates which are involved with these two suspects, and it now becomes important for the Delhi police and several other agencies probing this matter to also arrest those people who were helping these two terrorist suspects. Back to you.
Right, Piyush, absolutely. And we know that the police have arrested both Naushad and Jagjit Jassa under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, UAPA, viewers. And we'll, of course, get some more reactions coming in. We're getting some more reactions on this story. Let's play them out for our viewers.
यहाँ एक सिविलियंस के तरीके से हो रहे आगे किसी को किसी से मतलब ही नहीं है। वो नॉर्मली आना जाना उनका पब्लिक प्लेस में कोई ऐसा मूवमेंट लगा ही नहीं किसी को जो फोकस करे उन पे। आराम से नाइट में ही निकलते होंगे, ज़्यादा किसी ने देखा भी नहीं है उन्हें।
नहीं, लेकिन नाइट में निकलते होंगे वो ठीक है, लेकिन आप मेरे को बताओ अगर यहाँ से हथगोले मिल रहे हैं और यहाँ पे अगर मर्डर भी हुआ है तब तो फिर मतलब ये बहुत गंभीर मामला है।
नहीं, उनकी एक्टिविटी जो रही है नॉर्मल एक्टिविटी रही है, वो किसी को सिविलियंस ही तरीके से यहाँ रही है, कोई फोकस नहीं रहा उनका फील्ड पे। बिल्कुल एकदम शांति में किसी ने फोकस नहीं किया उन पर, नॉर्मल जैसे सिविलियंस रहते वैसे ही। अंदर अंदर से क्या एक्टिविटी उनकी चल रही थी ये बाद में जब ये घटना हो गई तब जानकारी हुई है।
तो ये आपके लिए एक बहुत ही मतलब शॉक होने वाला मामला होगा कि यहाँ पे मतलब हथगोले पाए भी गए हैं और यहाँ पे मतलब मर्डर भी हुआ है।
जी जी हाँ, एकदम लोगों को ये लगा अचानक कि ऐसे लोग बगल में रह रहे हैं। अचानक लोगों को सोच रहे अब ये ऐसे भी लोग बगल में रह रहे हैं, उन्होंने अब पता चला है, उन्हें जानकारी मिली है यहाँ से। अब जब पुलिस आई ले गई उनको जांचे।
पुलिस कब आई थी यहाँ पे?
पुलिस तो शाम से ही यहाँ पे आ रही है, जा रही है, उनको लेके आई है, बराबर आ रही है जा रही है। पुलिस पूरा फोकस कर रही है यहाँ पे।
सर वो तो रहती है, लेकिन इसका जानकारी तो हमें अभी मिला है, अभी मौके पर हम भी आए हैं। बाकी पुलिस जांच विषय पुलिस का है, पुलिस इंक्वायरी कर रही है, जांच के बाद ही पूरा क्लियर हो पाएगा पिक्चर क्या है।
एक नागरिक होने के नाते सर आपको लगा नहीं कि मतलब यहाँ पे थोड़ा आपको चौकन्ना होना पड़ेगा?
सर वो तो होना पड़ेगा, वो तो रेगुलर हर किसी को ही होना पड़ेगा, हम तो होंगे।
क्योंकि हथगोले आए हैं, हथगोले मतलब मुझे पता नहीं कहाँ से आए हैं, बाहर से आए हैं, पाकिस्तान से आए हैं, कहाँ से आए, लेकिन अगर यहाँ से आए हैं और यहाँ पे रखे जा रहे हैं तो ये तो बहुत ही गंभीर मामला है ना।
ये तो सिक्योरिटी का मामला, पुलिस इंक्वायरी करेगी, पुलिस की पेट्रोलिंग बढ़ाएगी, तभी तो उसकी जानकारी ज्यादा होगी।
और एक नागरिक होने के नाते आप क्या समझते हैं, आपकी क्या जिम्मेदारी है?
हमारी जिम्मेवारी है, हमें सचेत रहना पड़ेगा, एक्टिव रहना पड़ेगा अड़ोस पड़ोस में, ताकि ये ऐसी घटना दोबारा ना हो भविष्य में।
आगे से लोगों को थोड़ा समझ के अगल बगल वाले की जानकारी करते हुए तब आदमी को पता कर लेना चाहिए कौन बगल में रह रहा है, क्या कर रहा है, क्या एक्टिविटी है, कहाँ से
ये घर जहाँ पे हम जहाँ पे पाया गया घर किसका है?
ये अभी वो गायब है, उनका पता ही नहीं है, यहाँ वो रहते नहीं हूँ, किराएदार ही छोड़ देते हैं उसमें।
नहीं, लेकिन किराएदार रखे तो मतलब वेरिफिकेशन भी नहीं की क्या?
नहीं, उनका कोई वेरिफिकेशन नहीं था, उन्हें ऐसी पैसे की वजह से खंडर पड़ा है, उन्हें छोड़ दिया। अब थोड़े पैसे के चक्कर में उन्हें रह लेंगे, गरीब आदमी है रह लेंगे, उन्हें एक्टिविटी पे ध्यान नहीं दिया। अब जानकारी हुई, अब इतना बड़ा मामला हो गया अचानक।
ये बता रहे हैं जो दो ये मुजरिम जो लेके आए थे, जब वो उनको अंदर लेके गए तो उन्होंने अपने फ़ोन से ही वीडियो बना रखी थी एक, और उसने खुद अपने मुंह से बताया कि एक बंदा उसको काट रहा था और एक बंदे ने अपने फ़ोन से वीडियो बना रहा था। और ये बताया कि एक मतलब उसको काट के आधी बॉडी यहाँ पास में फेंकी और आधी बॉडी नाले में फेंकी है।
मुझे बताया जा रहा है कि यही है A101 में मतलब फेंकी गई बॉडी।
101 यही है, जे क्लस्टर है यहाँ पर, वहाँ पर फिर आधी बॉडी वहाँ फेंकी है, आधी नाले में फेंकी गई थी।
तो
और जब उन्होंने अपने फ़ोन से बताया कि हमने वीडियो अपने खुद फ़ोन से ही बनाई थी, वीडियो गला घोट के उसको मारा था, उसके बाद वीडियो काटी है बॉडी।
कुछ पता चला है कि ये आदमी है कौन? आप तो मतलब यहीं पे रहते हैं, आपको कुछ पता
है कि दिवाली के बाद इन्होंने रेंट पे लिया था यहाँ पे, और उसके बारे में तुमने अभी देखा भी नहीं इनको कभी।
जिसने रेंट पे दिया है उनका कुछ पता चल चुका है? उनके बारे में आप कुछ नहीं जानते? आपका क्या नाम है भैया? आप कुछ पता?
प्रदीप।
आप कुछ बताना चाहेंगे?
नहीं सर, बस हम तो लोकल है, हमें खुद नहीं पता यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है क्या नहीं हो रहा।
लेकिन आप तो लोकल है भैया, आपको तो पता होना चाहिए।
लोकल तो है बट अपना जॉब से यहाँ।
अगर यहाँ पे मतलब देखिए आप, ये तो बहुत बड़ी बात है ना कि अगर यहाँ पे हथगोले मिले हैं, यहाँ पे हथगोले मिले हैं और यहाँ पे आप मुझे बता रहे भाई साहब कि यहाँ पे तो टारगेट किलिंग हुई है।
वो तो बहुत बड़ी बात है, बट यहाँ पे आस पड़ोसी को नहीं पता, बगल वालों को अब क्या किया है, किसको लेके आए, पर हमें खुद नहीं पता। हम जॉब से यहाँ, बट जो सुनने में आया जो थे वो बाहर के थे।
ये तो बोल रहे बाहर के, लेकिन मेरे ख्याल से एक जो जिनको पकड़ा गया है वो तो मतलब यही जहांगीरपुर में रहते हैं।
जहांगीरपुर में रहते हैं, लेकिन यहाँ हमने उसको किसी को नहीं देखा यहाँ पे आज तक। कब वो आते थे कब वो जाते थे उसका हमें आज तक पता ही नहीं चला।
मैं आपसे एक चीज पूछना चाहता हूँ कि दिल्ली पुलिस की जो यहाँ पे कार्रवाई थी कितने दिनों से चल रही थी और कब आपको लगा कि बहुत जो कार्रवाई थी वो मतलब बहुत तेज हो गई?
हमने तो परसों न्यूज़ में देखा था कि 2 आतंकवादी पकड़े गए हैं ऐसे ऐसे, लेकिन यहाँ का तो जब भी हमें नहीं पता लगा कि वो यहाँ रहते थे, यहाँ ऐसे हुआ है। वो जब कल शाम को 4-5 बजे करीब उनको लेके आए हैं तब पता लगा कि वो यहाँ रहते थे, उन्होंने ऐसे किलिंग करी है किसी की।
मैं अभी ये ऊपर था, जब नीचे आया तो देखा ये पुलिस वाले बहुत खड़े हैं गाड़ी वाड़ी लेकर के।
कब की बात है सर ये?
कल 5 बजे। फिर जो है पुलिस वाले ने हमें भी ले गए और अपने भी वो जो 2 थे उनको भी पकड़ के ले गए, उधर अंदर ले गए और फिर ताला खोले, उनसे चाबी लिया, ताला खोले, अंदर गए तो जो है उनसे पूछने लगे भाई तुम लोगों ने यहाँ क्या किया। फिर एक आदमी मारा, गला दबा करके मारा। कहाँ मारा? कि कोने पे, ये कोने पे गला दबाया और मारा।
वो आदमी जिसको मारा है उसकी शिनाख्त हो चुकी है, उसकी पहचान?
All right, to some news coming in, this one from Nepal, where a 72-seater passenger aircraft has crashed on the runway at the Pokhara International Airport in Nepal while the rescue operations are underway. The airport has been shut for the time being, so unfortunate news that is just coming in. We do not yet know the status of those who were on board. 68 passengers, to be precise, were on board this aircraft. So it's a 72-seater passenger aircraft that has crashed on the runway at the Pokhara International Airport. In Nepal, the rescue operations, while we speak, are still underway and the airport has been shut for the time being. So a passenger plane that has crashed in Nepal. We do not yet know about the number of those who have died in this air crash, if at all, if there is any fatality reported. But for now, we're given to understand that 68 passengers were on board this aircraft. So news that is just coming in about the 72-seater passenger aircraft that has crashed on the runway at Pokhara International Airport in Nepal. The rescue operations are underway as we speak. The aircraft, we are given to understand, has been shut for the timing. We have a senior executive editor, Abhishek Kapoor, joining us. Abhishek, if you can give us the latest that you're picking up, a passenger plane that has crashed in Nepal.
Well, so these are the basic details. Still, Samiksha, the aircraft is identified as belonging to the Yeti Airlines or Yeti Airways, and it has crashed just before landing in Pokhara. It was on a flight. In fact, it had taken off from Pokhara and has crashed, and it was on a flight from Pokhara to the capital, Kathmandu. Now, we keep hearing about plane crashes in Nepal a little more often than other parts of the world because they have very difficult landing situations and takeoff situations. The runways are short in between those mountains, and that really leads to many times errors of judgment. So we don't know as yet what has happened here in this case, but then pictures clearly suggest that this is a massive tragedy unfolding. Locals have really rushed and are involved in the rescue operations. If there are any survivors, as yet no information we have received, except for that it was an ATR-72 aircraft belonging to the Yeti Airlines, to be more precise, the ANC ATR-72, and it had taken off from Pokhara onwards. No, in fact, it was landing. I have to again correct myself. So it was a flight from Kathmandu to Pokhara, and while negotiating a landing, this has crashed near Pokhara. And 68 passengers were on board, 4 crew members, taking the total to 72. And the pilot of the plane has been identified as Captain Kamal KC. And rescue operations are on. And we are told that helicopter services are being used to get involved in the extinguishing of fire, and security has reached a place. This has happened about an hour back. Also, these are the details that we have as of now. The ATR-72 plane of the Yeti Airlines, it crashed between the old airport and the Pokhara International Airport. So essentially, we don't know whether it was an error of judgment on the part of the pilot to choose the runways, because there is an international airport also now, and the old airstrip was also there, and the aircraft has landed just between the two airstrips, or between the old airport and the new international airport. Pictures suggesting that some survivors have been picked, and medical facilities being provided, but we as yet are not sure what are the number of survivors, Samiksha, so we'll have to wait and hear about that. But the basic details, Yeti Airlines flight from Kathmandu to Pokhara in an ANC ATR 72 airplane crash landed, and crashed in fact near the Pokhara airport while negotiating the landing. And this is between the old and the new airport, or the old airstrip and the new one. We don't know as yet, as I said, whether this happened because of pilot error. Pilot identified as Kamal Kesi, and it was a Nepalese private airline that has crashed with 68 on board in Pokhara.
Abhishek, stay with us. More information that is just trickling in, that the plane crash happened at this particular airport that was built by China just 12 days after inauguration. So questions being raised at this point on this airport also, where this crash really happened, the runway, which the incident happening just 12 days after the inauguration happened.
Well, exactly. So that's why I'm saying, or the reason why this could be a pilot error is that this new the airport has come up, and whether there was some confusion at the end of the ATC, or whether the pilot misunderstood some command, or made an error of judgment in terms of choosing the runway, and in those split seconds, time was lost during the descent, and the aircraft crashed into the fields between the two runways, or between the two airports. That's something which would be a matter of investigation. But as of now, of course, the situation is unraveling, and the focus essentially on relief and rescue. If there are any survivors, to make sure that they get medical attention in the soonest possible time. We are told these are pictures for about half an hour, 45 minutes back, where the fire has been extinguished, and the security and the administration and the locals there, they are assisting the administration in making sure that whatever salvage can be done should be done as soon as possible time. And as I said, Samiksha, these are very accident-prone. This is an accident-prone region. Typically, the airstrips in Nepal are very short because they are between those mountains in the valleys. In fact, the world's most dangerous landing and takeoff airstrip, the Lukla airstrip, is also in Nepal, and that gives you an idea of the difficulties the pilots and those involved with air traffic control really face in Nepal. But as I said, those are all areas that would be a matter of investigation in terms of whether this was a pilot error or a technical error that led to the crashing of this Yeti Airlines ANC ATR 72 airplane flight from Kathmandu to Pokhara. But all those details perhaps would come in later. As of now, the focus entirely on these pictures coming in, horrible pictures coming in, unfortunate accident taking place in the Himalayan country of Nepal.
Yes, Abhishek, stay with us, and just to take our viewers through what we know so far, the visuals, of course, dramatic, coming in this hour from Pokhara in Nepal, where the plane crash happened at this airport that was built by China just 12 days after the inauguration. In fact, it's a 72-seater passenger aircraft that crashed on the runway at this particular airport in Nepal. We're given to understand that the rescue operations as we speak are still underway. Meanwhile, the airport has been temporarily shut, but those visuals in which you can see the kind of damage, we yet to know whether the status of those 68 passengers who were on board. There were 68 passengers and through 3 crew members, including the pilot on this plane. So those are the details that are just trickling in. We have Surendra Puyal, a journalist, joining us from Kathmandu live. Indeed, a very, very unfortunate news coming in. If you can take us through the details of what exactly happened, at what time did this crash happen, and any status with respect to the survivors who were the passengers who were on board this airline. All right, we'll try connecting with Surendra Fayal, who will be joining us live from Kathmandu to take us to the latest we know as far as this tragedy is concerned. But unfortunate news, of course, coming in where an aircraft crashed in Pokhara region of Nepal. We're given to understand that 68 passengers and 3 crew members were on board this plane. Do not yet know the status of those who were on board this plane. But latest, of course, coming in that the airport has been temporarily shut. The rescue operations are still underway as we speak. It is ATR 72 aircraft of Yeti Airlines that was carrying 68 passengers and 3 crew members. The plane, also remember, was built by China just 12 days after the inauguration. This tragedy has happened. As you can see, the rescue operations are still underway as we speak. So very, very tragic and unfortunate news coming in right now. We are also, we'll try and go across to Surendra Fayal as well, who will be joining us from Kathmandu to take us to the latest. But as you can see, plumes of smoke that is seen emanating from that particular site where the crash happened. It is, in fact, it was a 72-seat passenger aircraft that crashed on the runway at the Pokhara International Airport in Nepal. The rescue operations, while we speak, is still underway to find those who are missing. The status of the survivors of this plane crash, we do not yet know the number of casualties, if at all, in this particular tragedy. But very unfortunate news coming in. The Yeti Airlines aircraft that crashed at roughly about half an hour back. The visuals there in which you can see the rescue operations underway and people trying to find those survivors of this particular tragedy. In fact, it was roughly about 45 minutes back when this aircraft crashed. The flight crashed at the Pokhara International Airport. So we do not yet know what exactly happened, whether it was a technical glitch, whether it was an error on taking command on part of the pilot. All of those questions are rising at this point. But what we know so far is that this plane, this passenger aircraft that crashed on the runway at Pokhara International Airport in Nepal 45 minutes back. We have Surendra Fayal joining us live from Kathmandu. Surendra, if you can take us through the details you are picking up, when exactly did this happen and the status of those passengers and crew members who were on board this flight?
As you can see, the plane is on fire. It has crashed before touching down at Pokhara Airport. Minutes before the touchdown, a civil aviation authority officials in Kathmandu are suspecting some serious technical error of which could have possibly ignited fire in one of the aircraft parts. That's what they are guessing the reason for this crash. It's very tragic. As you can see, as you can hear, there's 72 people on board, 4 crew members and 68 others, including some children, some foreigners, presumably because Pokhara is a very popular tourism destination with, popular among tourists from all over the world. I took off Kathmandu. The plane took off from Kathmandu Airport at around 10:30. So before 11, it's a 20-25 minutes flight. So before 11 o'clock, it just crashed, and it has shocked the entire country. Because of the number of the passengers involved, number of people involved, and in a very fantastic destination with a very new airport, which was inaugurated just a few weeks ago. So Nepal is, basically, officials are shocked and they are trying to investigate. Rescue efforts are continuing. They have sent rescue helicopters to the area. Military, police and army men at the site, as you can see in the visuals there.
Yes, Surendra, stay with us. If you can take us through more details, any survivors, anything known about, the survivors, any casualties, if at all, take us through the details that you're picking up as we speak.
Yeah, sure. I mean, officials are saying that they are moving to the side. They still don't know the details because you can see the aircraft is on fire. So there are very slim chances of people surviving this accident. But again, you never know. We are still waiting for more updates from the ground. It happened in Pokhara, as you can see, and it's a very tragic crash. Happening in a very clear day. As you can see, the sky is really clear in Kathmandu, and same in Pokhara also. 20 minutes flight away. So officials are really struggling to, find out what went wrong, and also they have mobilized security and rescue workers to the site. So it has come as a big shock for people in Pokhara and people in Kathmandu, and everybody. You can imagine the plight of the relatives of the survivors of the people who were involved in this crash. So pretty tragic tragic accident in Nepal.
With us, Surendra, and just to take our viewers through what we know so far, the visuals, of course, very dramatic coming in this hour from Pokhara area where the tragedy unfolded. It was an aircraft that crash landed, and as a result of which we do not yet know what is exactly the status of those who were on board, but we're given to understand 68 passengers and 3 crew members were on board this flight when this flight crashed. You do not yet know what really was the cause of this, but details are just coming in that it is an ATR 72 aircraft of the Yeti Airlines that crashed, carrying 68 passengers and 3 crew members on board. Merely 12 days after inauguration, this unfortunate incident happening. Of course, the visuals there in which you can see plumes of smoke just right after that plane crashed. Surendra, of course, continues to be with us. Surendra reporting live from Kathmandu. Surendra, for the viewers also who are just tuning in, take us through the latest that you are learning. When did this plane crash? How many crew and passengers were on board? And what exactly is known so far when it comes to the cause of this crash of this flight?
The plane ATR 72 is the make, is a company, is a brand of the plane. It's operated by Yeti Airlines, a passenger plane, a pretty new plane, purchased a few years ago, joined the fleet just a couple of years ago, and this plane, nobody was expecting any news like this, but it just happened suddenly. Took off at 10:30 from Kathmandu. Expected landing time was 10:55 Nepal time. Around that time, as it approached the runway of Pokhara Airport, at a place called Nayagaon, which is en route to the runway. So before it reached the runway, the plane crashed, as you can see, and the officials are not expecting any good news from the site. They're expecting that they're worried that everybody in the aircraft presumably possibly died as a result of this crash, which is very tragic. And you can see the plane on fire. One official at the Civil Aviation Authority of Nepal in Kathmandu said a little while ago that the plane possibly caught fire. One of the components of the aircraft before it approached the runway, and as a result of that, the tragedy happened. So we're still getting updates. The rescue workers are there at the site, trying to douse the fire and trying to get more details.
Surendra, for all, stay with us while we have to take a very, very short break. But we'll come back after this very short break and get you all the latest on this aircraft crash which has happened in Pokhara, Nepal. You do not yet know the status of those who were on board, but 68 passengers and 3 crew members who were on board this flight when this aircraft crashed. So the visuals there on your screens right now coming in from that particular tragedy site where the plane crashed. 68 passengers and 3 crew members were on board this flight. So that's the latest we are picking up. Do not yet know what was the cause of this crash. Those are the details that are yet to be known. We do not yet know the number of casualties, if at all, in this particular tragedy. A very short break, but on the other side, we'll continue to get you all the latest on this.
Step into luxury, where grace blends with grandeur, and design blends with innovation. As your stress is washed away and you're transported in the lap of luxury. Cure European bath lounges. Let time wait.
एक आपने कॉन्सेप्ट दिया जी जनाब का.
I don't ever want to claim anything which is not done by me. I only cast my mind back to what General Patinkar and General Nirbhay Sharma had done. What I did was that I took the Ji Janab. Ji Janab was not about saying Ji Janab to everyone. It was just a symbol, a name given to an operation to say, understand the Kashmiri environment, understand the culture, understand the sensitivities.
Republic 47.3%, 394% more viewership for Republic TV than News 18 in super prime time. Content supremacy destroys the landing experiment. Republic TV, the All India number one.
ये कहानी 1947 में जाती है सर. एक नया मुल्क बनता है पाकिस्तान. जो ऑफिसर्स हैं इंडियन आर्मी में, उनको ये बोला जाता है कि आप चूज करें आप कहां पे जाना चाहते हैं.
मेरे पिताजी जनरल सैयद मेहदी हसनैन उस वक्त कैप्टन जब आर्मी के अंदर आए थे तो फर्स्ट गढ़वाल राइफल्स में आए. प्योर हिंदू सोल्जर्स कम्युनिटी जो थी पूरी, उसमें एक अकेला मुसलमान. उनके कमांडिंग ऑफिसर ने उनसे पूछा, बंटवारे के अंदर आप क्या चाहेंगे, किसी मुस्लिम यूनिट के साथ, मुस्लिम रेजिमेंट के साथ पाकिस्तान आर्मी में जाने की? जवाब जो था बहुत जबरदस्त. मैंने सोच लिया मैं उस देश में जाऊंगा, मैं उस फौज में जाऊंगा जिसमें मजहब के लिए कोई अलग जगह नहीं है.
जोशीमठ में जो स्थिति है वो बेहद चिंताजनक है. इसरो की ओर से जो रिपोर्ट जारी की गई है उसमें भी चिंता जाहिर की गई है. देखिए यहाँ पर एक के बाद एक आपको ट्रक दिखाई देंगे. ये वही ट्रक है जो अपने लगेज को लेकर के परिवार यहाँ पर आ रहे हैं. इनके पास कोई विकल्प नहीं है. दर्द इतना है कि इनसे बात करो तो इनकी आंखें डबडबा जाती हैं. ये कहते हैं कि तिनका संजोग कर जो घर बनाया, जो परिवार बसाया, अब उस सामान को लेकर के हम दर भटकने को मजबूर है.
A stunning revelation has come to fore where the Delhi Police Special Cell Unit have arrested Jagjit Singh Jassa and Naushad over their involvement in terror activities and trying to disrupt the Republic Day parade. Now, there was another major breakthrough that was achieved by the Delhi Police Special Cell after it was able to get some hand grenades from at Bhalfa Dairy. There are also now reports that perhaps Naushad and Jagjit Singh Jassa would have also been involved in a target killing.
The global south has countries that are in a state of perpetual conflict. Some of them their own making and some of them from outside. And India has said that India will use the G20 platform to speak for the global south, for the other marginalized countries of the world who have no voice, who deserve to be heard. It is India. This is India's, I think, one of the many steps that India has taken.
All right, so the visuals there on your screens that we are getting right now from that plane crash site. So it's a plane that crashed near Pokhara region in Nepal. 68 passengers and 3 crew members were on flight. This particular flight, it is a Yeti Airlines flight ATR-72. We're given to understand that it took off at 10:30 a.m. It was expected to touch down at 10:55 a.m. The crash happened while it was en route the runway at a place called Nayagaon minutes before it landed. So those are the details that are just trickling in. It is a Yeti Airlines flight that crashed, ATR-72. It took off at around 10:30 a.m. This morning, and it in fact crashed just minutes before it landed. So those are the details coming in. We do not yet know the status of those who are on board, but 68 passengers were on this flight. So we are also given to understand that of those 68 passengers who were in this flight, 10 of them were foreign nationals, while do not yet know if there were Indians also in this flight that crashed in the Pokhara area of Nepal. But those are the visuals that are coming in just after that plane crashed in the Pokhara region of Nepal. The visuals also coming in of those people who are there trying to aid in the rescue operations. A very short break, but on the other side we'll continue to get you all the latest from Nepal, where a plane crashed. 68 passengers and 3 crew members were on board the flight.
Step into luxury, where grace blends with grandeur and design blends with innovation. As your stress is washed away and you're transported in the lap of luxury. Cure European bath lounges. Let time wait.
ये कहानी 1947 में जाती है सर। एक नया मुल्क बनता है पाकिस्तान। जो ऑफिसर्स हैं इंडियन आर्मी में, उनको ये बोला जाता है कि आप चूज करें आप कहां पे जाना चाहते हैं।
मेरे पिताजी जनरल सैयद मेहदी हसनैन उस वक्त कैप्टन जब आर्मी के अंदर आए थे तो फर्स्ट गढ़वाल राइफल्स में आए। प्योर हिंदू सोल्जर्स कम्युनिटी जो थी पूरी, उसमें एक अकेला मुसलमान। उनके कमांडिंग ऑफिसर ने उनसे पूछा, बंटवारे के अंदर आप क्या चाहेंगे, किसी मुस्लिम यूनिट के साथ, मुस्लिम रेजिमेंट के साथ पाकिस्तान आर्मी में जाने की? जवाब जो था बहुत जबरदस्त। मैंने सोच लिया मैं उस देश में जाऊंगा, मैं उस फौज में जाऊंगा जिसमें मजहब के लिए कोई अलग जगह नहीं है।
जोशीमठ में जो स्थिति है वो बेहद चिंताजनक है। इसरो की ओर से जो रिपोर्ट जारी की गई है उसमें भी चिंता जाहिर की गई है। देखिए यहाँ पर एक के बाद एक आपको ट्रक दिखाई देंगे। ये वही ट्रक है जो अपने लगेज को लेकर के परिवार यहाँ पर आ रहे हैं। इनके पास कोई विकल्प नहीं है। दर्द इतना है कि इनसे बात करो तो इनकी आंखें डबडबा जाती हैं। ये कहते हैं कि तिनका संजोग कर जो घर बनाया, जो परिवार बसाया, अब उस सामान को लेकर के हम दर भटकने को मजबूर है।
A stunning revelation has come to fore where the Delhi Police Special Cell Unit have arrested Jagjit Singh Jassa and Naushad over their involvement in terror activities and trying to disrupt the Republic Day parade. Now, there was another major breakthrough that was achieved by the Delhi Police Special Cell after it was able to get some hand grenades from at Bhalfa Dairy. There are also now reports that perhaps Naushad and Jagjit Singh Jassa would have also been involved in a target killing.
The global south has countries that are in a state of perpetual conflict. Some of them their own making and some of them from outside. And India has said that India will use the G20 platform to speak for the global south, for the other marginalized countries of the world who have no voice, who deserve to be heard. It is India. This is India's, I think, one of the many steps that India has taken towards diplomatic superpower status.
Starting with the latest, we are learning as far as the tragedy that is being reported from Nepal, where a Yeti Airlines plane crashed. We're given to understand that 68 passengers and 4 crew members were on board when this plane crashed. It is a Yeti Air ATR-72 aircraft that was flying to Pokhara from Kathmandu that crashed. In fact, the plane was due to land in just minutes before it crashed. Also, more details that are just coming in that the plane, 2 planes had crashed of the same airlines just years back. So yet another incident coming to light where it was a Chinese-made plane that crashed. It is the Yeti Airlines plane that crashed that carried 68 passengers and 4 crew members. The visuals there on your screens right now, coming in right now, of the rescue operations taking place, and those visuals just after that plane crashed. We have Surendra Fayal joining us live from Kathmandu. Surendra, take us through the latest. Anything known so far about the survivors? What really was the cause of this plane crash, which happened just minutes before it landed?
It's Yeti Airlines ATR-72 took off from Kathmandu at 10:30 and was expected to land at Pokhara Airport around 10:55 a.m. in the morning. Very clear day. blue skies and very clear conditions in Pokhara, in Kathmandu as well. But a civil aviation official is saying that the plane could have possibly caught fire before, touching down. So it was en route to the new airport at Pokhara, but then it could not make it, and because of the fire, the plane crashed near the airport at a place called Mayagaon with 72 people on board, 68 of them passengers, 4 crew members. It is a new aircraft, ATR 72. It's a new model. ATR, as you know, is manufactured in France. So very nice European aircraft, but again, tragedy befell. And then because of that, officials are rushing to the site with rescue workers to douse the fire and to take stock of the situation on the ground. But everybody is presumed dead, and that's the very unfortunate part of this tragedy.
Surendra, anything known so far about the foreign nationals who were also on board? We given to understand that there were Indians as well who were flying in this flight which crashed near Pokhara.
The possibility cannot be ruled out because Pokhara is very popular among foreigners from different countries around the world, and also people from India who keep visiting Nepal. So the exact details and the passengers' list is still not publicized, has not been made public. So it's not clear the picture and the number of passengers and their nationalities. But 72 were there, and then the aircraft met with the tragedy even minutes before touching down at Pokhara Airport. This is probably, as you mentioned, not the first time Yeti Airlines met with an accident. Yeti Airlines aircraft has met with an accident. Its subsidiary airline, Tara Air, smaller aircraft crashed in the Mustang region in western part a few months ago. So it's a very bad day for the airline, and they are working hard to get the details, get the record straight.
Surendra, stay with us. We have Tanisha also getting us the latest, joining us. Tanisha, we're given to understand that the Indian High Commission in Kathmandu has also gotten in touch with the officials. Anything you're learning on that?
Right, Samiksha, the plane crash was so intense that almost everybody has been feared dead. Now remember, we are getting a latest update here where the Nepal PM has now tweeted, and he has given his condolences to the families who have lost their loved ones in this tragic incident, because it was a new airlines and nobody even expected this. And remember, as our reporter in Kathmandu was pointing out, that it was just few minutes before landing at the airport that this plane crashed, and the possible reasons and there have been many other incidences as well where this airlines has in the past suffered many technical glitches as well. Now technical glitch could be one of the reason why this plane crash took place. There could be several other reasons. However, officially nothing has been confirmed yet, but as far as we know, it was a 72-seater plane, Samiksha, and most of the people, obviously the crash was so intense that you see even the parts of the plane have been scattered everywhere. It is a hilly terrain, if you see, because Pokhara, when we talk about Pokhara in Nepal, it is a hilly terrain surrounded by a lake. Hilly terrain and the climatic conditions could also be one of the factor. However, Samiksha, like I was saying, officially nothing has been confirmed yet. The spokesperson of Yeti Airlines, Sudarshan, has come out and he's spoken to the local media in Nepal, where he has confirmed that this tragic incident took place, and most of the people are feared dead. However, the official number is not out. PM of Nepal has also tweeted in this regard, and he has also given condolences to the families who have lost their loved ones.
Tanisha, just hold your thoughts there. Yes, we have Surendra Fuyal, who continues to be with us, reporting live from Kathmandu. Surendra, we are given to understand that some reports suggest that a total of 30 dead bodies have been recovered from the crash site. Anything you can confirm to us in that regard?
social media, and they are pulling out bodies from the site. The actual number is already changing because the work is in progress. So they are working hard to recover all the bodies and all the belongings that could possibly survive this tragic crash. So work is in progress. We'll have to wait for a few more hours before the picture gets clear.
Also, we are given to understand that the Nepal Prime Minister has also taken stock. He's also put out, in fact, he put out on social media saying that he is speaking to the officials. How is the Prime Minister and the Nepal government aiding in the rescue operations? Any details known on that?
Clearly, I mean, immediately after the crash, the police, the armed police and the police forces and the military, Nepal army personnel who were located nearby were rushed to the site to carry out relief and rescue, efforts. And then the Prime Minister is naturally very appalled, and he's already put out his statement saying his thoughts are with his prayers are with the families of those involved in the crash. And similar statements are, being circulated, being put out on social media by other political leaders as well. And Nepal is simply shocked by this news. On the first day of festival when Nepalis are observing Makar Sankranti, Mage Sankranti festival. So in the morning, this news came, and everybody from officials and needless to say, the affected family members are appalled, and including officials at the Pokhara International Airport, which just recently opened. It was not a news they were expecting. So it's a day marked by tragedy in Nepal, as you can see.
Stay with us, Surendra, while we just tell our viewers what all is known so far. The visuals there on your screens that show the visuals right after that crash happened in Kathmandu. We're given to understand that this flight was flying from Kathmandu to Pokhara with the passengers, with 68 passengers and 4 crew members. In fact, the Nepal Prime Minister has put out a statement where he says, "I'm deeply saddened by the tragic accident of Yeti Airlines ATR 72, which was flying from Kathmandu to Pokhara with passengers. I sincerely appeal to the security personnel, all agencies of the Nepal government and the general public to start an effective rescue." We have Group Captain Augustine Vinod also joining us. Sir, if I can get your quick thoughts on what do you think could be the technical glitches here that the officials would be looking at? It happened while the flight was about to land. This is, we're given to understand, not the first instance to have happened of this particular airline flight to have crashed. So what do you think would be the reasons behind those technical glitches, if at all? All right, we'll try and go across to Group Captain Augustine Vinod once again. But those are the visuals on your screens right now of plumes of smoke seen emanating from that crash site where the plane crashed. The plane was flying from Kathmandu to Pokhara with 68 passengers and 4 crew members. In fact, a statement that has also been put out by the Nepal Prime Minister where he says that, and I quote, "I sincerely appeal to the security personnel, all agencies of the Nepal government and the general public to start an effective rescue operation." Also, reports that are just trickling in. We are yet to get an official confirmation, but we're given to understand that about 30 dead bodies have been recovered from the crash site in Pokhara. It is the Chief District Officer Tegh Bahadur Kesi who has informed the local media in Nepal. So waiting on that confirmation. But the visuals there which paint a scary picture of this incident which happened. We have Group Captain Augustine Vinod once again back with us. Sir, if I can get your quick thoughts on what do you think would be the technical glitches that the officials would be looking at? Because we are given to understand that 2 planes have crashed of the same airlines years ago.
Comes very clearly out. One is whether not the criteria or the cause of the accident, which is what is prima facie visible, neither in launch base nor where the aeroplane was destined to land, which is Pokhara. Now, 2 possibilities. I'm saying statistically. We are yet to get more information about this crash. Statistically, one is an undershot approach, which could be any reason that it has happened, or the second reason could be technical glitch. And to me, looking at the safety record of ATR 72 and ATR 72, we operate a lot in India as well, and it is an Airbus aircraft, mind you. So I think it could be a technical glitch, but once again, I'm just doing conjecture here, because more information when we get, we'll be able to say it clearly. I'm also trying to learn about it from other sources as well. Maybe 10-15 minutes or half an hour down the road, I'll have more information to give you, a clear-cut answer as to what could have gone wrong. Looking at the flight path, especially the final approach flight path.
Yes.
But at the moment, I'm just gathering the data.
Yes. Sir, stay with us. Technical glitches there are yet to be confirmed. But if you can talk to us about the terrain of this area, because we understand that this is not very a smooth area. It is a rough terrain. So could that also be one of those reasons that we could be looking at, the reason for this crash to have happened?
Absolutely. See, in hilly terrain, you don't have, something like an overrun area or a long undershoot area where, if you remember, day before, I don't know whether you all tracked this news or not, an Airbus A330 in Belgium or somewhere touchdown short of the runway. And nothing happened to the aircraft. In a little bit of probably, dust or musk was in on the back of the aircraft, and the runway was declared unsafe. Aeroplane, just a pilot error or whatever, it managed to touch down on the undershoot portion where there is no runway, and yet nothing happened to the aircraft. If transpose that now to Pokhara, if that kind of an aeroplane touches short of the runway, it is, sure that something like this that could happen. So my point here is hills and tabletop runways, they are very challenging operations, especially given the nature that it was fully loaded aeroplane. So I really don't know, could there be a technical glitch? And add a little bit of another variable to it, maybe an engine fire or an engine stall or any other, or bird hit or any other technical glitch. Add that little variable to this whole thing, then we are looking at a recipe which sometimes could lead to this kind of crash. But if you look at this, once again, historically, because Nepal being a hill country,
yes,
any hill country, not only Nepal, you go to Colorado, Springs, or there are many such runways all over US where statistically the number of accidents have been much more than runways in the plains. So mathematical possibility of crashes are high, and the margin of error is low in runways which are located in hills and high altitude. And hill and high altitude together is another, kettle of fish altogether.
All right, so a lot of possibilities that would be looked into. Thank you for speaking to us. So Group Captain Augustine Vinod there, talking to us about the hilly terrain and the technical glitches that could be a reason for this crash to have happened. We're also given to understand that a statement that has been released by the Yeti airline, where they've confirmed 16 bodies have been recovered so far. So that's the first confirmation that is coming in. 16 bodies that have been recovered so far, 16 casualties in this unfortunate incident to have happened when this plane crashed. We have Surendra Foyal who's joining us live from Kathmandu. Surendra, that's the first confirmation we are getting from the Yeti Airlines about 16 casualties. Till now, anything latest that you're learning in terms of the rescue operations underway?
It has just reported that the 32 bodies have been recovered from the site. And also in Kathmandu, the government is shocked. Everybody in the country is naturally shocked. And the Prime Minister has called an emergency meeting of the cabinet. So the cabinet is, meeting, very soon, and it will be an emergency meeting. So something is expected to come out of that. But again, it's a and then reports also from the ground are suggesting that the pilot appears to have flown the aircraft towards the river bank there in Pokhara, called the Seti River Bank, in order to protect a settlement of people. So in order to avoid from hitting a settlement, the pilot appears to have taken the aircraft towards the Seti River Bank. That's another piece of information we have now. The cabinet is going to meet soon. It will be an emergency meeting, and rescue efforts are continuing at the crash site.
All right, so Surendra, they're getting us the latest. So we'll still wait on the confirmation there, but Surendra, they're telling us that 32 casualties is latest what he is learning from his sources. The visuals there on your screens that shows the aftermath of this incident and when the plane crashed. It is the Yeti Airlines. And also details that are just coming in about this not being the first incident of this particular airline aircraft to have crashed. The visuals there on your screens right now that shows just moments before that crash happened. The plane was flying from Kathmandu to Pokhara. So details that are just trickling in as to what really, how it happened and the moments before the crash happened. Also, the crash comes 8 months after the 22 people were killed in Pokhara region, and second plane crash to have happened in Pokhara in 8 months. So it's not the first time that the Yeti Airlines aircraft crashed, because this comes just 8 months after 22 people were killed in Pokhara region. In fact, it was in May 2022 when 22 people were killed in the Pokhara plane crash. We do not yet know what really was the cause of this crash, but questions being raised as to whether there was a technical glitch, whether it was a rough terrain, or whether it was a mountainous area which was really the cause of this fire. And Surendra Fayal continues to be with us, reporting live from Kathmandu. We have Tanisha as well getting us all those details. And Shivangi also joining us from the Delhi newsroom. Shivangi, if you can take us through the latest you are picking. We understand that the Prime Minister is currently taking stock of the rescue operations which are still set to be underway as we speak.
Absolutely, Samiksha. And this is a breaking news development for all our viewers who are watching Republic TV. Let's tell our viewers it's a breaking news development coming in. So we're waiting for all the information to trickle in because the crash happened just a short while back. 16 bodies have been recovered so far. And as our viewers can see the visuals on their screen. Now these visuals are first on Republic. You can also see when the crash really happened. And if you look at the scene there, whoever is watching Republic right now, just have a look at the visuals there. The visuals of especially the rescue operation. Now it's a hillside region. It's a hillside crash which has happened, and usually hilly terrain is very difficult when it comes to especially rescue operations because of the region, the terrain, and of course the trees and other issues. The ground is not flat. So we know that there are hundreds of rescue workers who are looking through that hillside region to find survivors. And we know that 16 people's body has been recovered. Also, we know that more bodies are expected to be recovered. The plane, Samiksha, and for all our viewers who can see, you can see that the plane crash is quite fatal because we are learning that the entire plane has been broken into multiple pieces, which also indicates that finding survivors who are alive or injured are still alive, that could be a little difficult. Also, we know that it was twin-engine ATR 72 aircraft operated by Yeti Airlines. It was flying from Kathmandu, and we also know that that the rescue operations are on right now. Of course, we'll wait for more details coming in, but you can see thick black smoke coming from the crash site as rescue operations, and the people have gathered around the wreckage of the aircraft. And like Samiksha and like everybody has been telling us on Republic TV, that's still yet to find out the cause of the incident. What happened? Was it a technical glitch, or was there any other reason which could have led to this terrible incident and that accident there in Pokhara? Back to you, Samiksha.
All right, Shivangi, thank you for taking us through those details. We have Surendra Fayal, of course, who continues to be with us from Kathmandu. Surendra, once again, if you can confirm to us about the casualties, about the survivors of this tragedy, and what is exactly the statement coming in from Yeti Airlines at this point?
Airlines clearly said they have pulled out 16 bodies from the crash site, whereas reports in the local media are saying they are recovering more bodies. 32 have been pulled out so far. The aircraft was carrying 72 people altogether, including 4 crew members. So everybody is, worried that nobody could have survived. But again, rescue efforts are continuing, hoping against hope. They are searching the crash site in Nayagaon near New International Airport in Pokhara. Which is a hilly terrain, naturally. But then the pilot appears to have, driven the aircraft towards the riverbank in order to, protect human settlement. That's another piece of information that we have. And in Kathmandu, everybody is shocked. The government is shocked. People are shocked. And the government, the Prime Minister has summoned an emergency meeting of the cabinet, which will meet soon. So it has, it has come as a huge shock in the Himalayan nation.
All right, Surendra, stay with us. For our viewers who are tuning in, a statement that has been released by Yeti Airlines that says 16 bodies have been recovered still now from that crash site, but those visuals that show the grim picture, of what exactly happened just minutes before that plane crashed. You can see that the aftermath, in which you can see plumes of smoke emanating. Of course, the aircraft that was dismantled into pieces just after that crash happened. So, of course, it is a big challenge for the officials there to find those missing, to find the survivors of this plane crash. But the statement from the airlines that says that 16 bodies have been recovered till now. Meanwhile, the local media says that 30 bodies have been recovered so far from the crash site in Pokhara region of Nepal. That's the map there that shows you exactly where the plane crashed. The plane was flying from Pokhara to Kathmandu, and that was exactly, in fact, the crash happened just minutes before it landed. So the confirmation coming in about those 16 people who lost their lives in this tragic incident. It was a 72-seater passenger aircraft that crashed on the runway at Pokhara International Airport in Nepal. It's being said that the rescue operations are still underway as we speak. Meanwhile, a statement that has also been released by the Nepal Prime Minister, who says that the officials have been pressed into action and that the search is on to find the survivors of this tragedy. Meanwhile, an emergency Nepal cabinet meet has also been called by the Prime Minister as we speak. So the Nepal government, the Nepal Prime Minister, taking stock of all the measures that can be done to expedite the rescue operations that are underway as we speak. The visuals there that we are showing you on our screens of that show just minutes after the plane crashed and the minutes before the crash happened. So yes, as you can see, the plane actually catching fire just minutes before that plane crashed, and just when that crash happened, you can see the fire that has completely engulfed this particular engine. So a challenge there for the officials as well to find the survivors of this plane crash. Surendra Fayal, who's reporting live from Kathmandu, continues to be with us. Surendra, talk to us, about the many reasons that the officials could be looking at in terms of what could be the reason of this crash. We're given to understand that, of course, it is one, a rough terrain. It's not a smooth plane. It is a mountainous area. And two, there could be a technical glitch as well, because this is not one of the first incidents to have happened where an aircraft of this particular airline crashed.
The latest information, there's always, all kind of guessworks are going on right now. According to one civil aviation authority official, the plane could have, caught fire, one of the engines or some other component, and the pilot had to make an, emergency landing, and he appears to have, taken some solid step to do so, but again, he could not land it safely. According to locals, the plane was unbalanced. Eyewitnesses are saying the plane was unbalanced as it, before it crashed. And it was heading towards the river bank. And the pilot also tried to, protect a human settlement where it could have crashed. So instead of crashing there, landing there, it went to the river bank. But then it could not survive again, and the plane crashed.
A stunning revelation has come to fore where the Delhi Police Special Cell Unit have arrested Jagjit Singh Jassa and Naushad over their involvement in terror activities and trying to disrupt the Republic Day parade. Now, there was another major breakthrough that was achieved by the Delhi Police Special Cell after it was able to get some hand grenades from at Bhalfa Dairy. There are also now reports that perhaps Naushad and Jagjit Singh Jassa would have also been involved in a target killing.
The global south has countries that are in a state of perpetual conflict. Some of them their own making and some of them from outside. And India has said that India will use the G20 platform to speak for the global south, for the other marginalized countries of the world who have no voice, who deserve to be heard. It is India. This is India's, I think, one of the many steps that India has taken towards diplomatic superpower status.
More trouble for the people of Joshimath. On one side, they have been asked to leave their houses. They have been evacuated. On the other hand, this is the water crisis which is being seen by the people of Joshimath now. Water pipes is not working properly and the supply of the water has been already stopped.
एक आपने कॉन्सेप्ट दिया जी जनाब का.
I don't ever want to claim anything which is not done by me. I only cast my mind back to what General Patinkar and General Nirbhay Sharma had done. What I did was that I took the Ji Janab. Ji Janab was not about saying Ji Janab to everyone. It was just a symbol, a name given to an operation to say, understand the Kashmiri environment, understand the culture, understand the sensitivities.
All right, viewers, so the big news coming in, viewers, on this story is that an emergency Nepal cabinet meet has been called and Nepal PM has called for a meet right now. 30 bodies have been recovered so far. So we're getting these back-to-back updates. The death toll is rising higher and higher. 68 passengers were in that Getty Airlines plane. Rescue operations are ongoing and we are getting you all details as they come in. Now remember, viewers, this is a breaking news development coming in, and as we are getting more details, we are telling it to you first only on Republic TV. We also know that the Civil Aviation Minister of India, Jyotiraditya Scindia, has expressed his condolences. A tweet has come in from him where he's saying the loss of lives in a tragic plane crash in Nepal. It's extremely unfortunate. My thoughts and prayers are with the families of the bereaved. So we're getting some reactions coming in right now, and we know that 30 bodies have been recovered. Earlier, the number was standing at 16 bodies, and right now it has almost doubled to 30 bodies which have been recovered from the crash site in Pokhara. This is what we have come to learn of right now. And the Indian High Commission in Kathmandu has also been apprised of the situation. The Indian High Commission in Kathmandu has been apprised of the plane crash, and we also are learning that there were some Indians set to be on board the Getty Airlines plane. So we're getting some updates coming in right now. The Nepal PM has also tweeted that I'm deeply saddened by the sad and tragic accident of the Yeti Airlines, which was flying from Kathmandu to Pokhara with passengers. I sincerely appeal to the security personnel, all agencies of the Nepal government and the general public to start an effective rescue. So this tweet has come in as well, viewers, where we're getting these back-to-back updates right now. We know that an emergency Nepal cabinet meet has been called. This is not the first accident we have seen, the tragedy that we have seen. Around 8 months ago, there was a crash where 22 people were killed in Pokhara. And so this essentially means that this is a second plane crash in Pokhara in just 8 months. And the last incident, May 2022, in that incident, 22 people were killed in the Pokhara plane crash. So we're getting these updates coming in right now, back-to-back updates coming in at this point of time. And as we get them, as we get these updates, we are telling you as this information is trickling in. Remember that the Nepal PM has taken cognizance of what happened. There's a cabinet meet being called, and he has tweeted. Now, this is an aircraft of Yeti Airlines. It was carrying around 68 passengers. Around 4 crew members were also part of that plane. Now, this crash happened in Pokhara. And if you see the visuals coming in on your screen, you can see that the entire terrain is quite hilly, hillside terrain, which is leading to some difficulties because usually a terrain like that, it takes a little bit more time to find any survivors or the missing pieces of the plane. Let's go ahead to Tanisha is joining us live right now. Tanisha, just want to come across to you right now. And it is confirmed that some Indians were on board that plane. And as our viewers are watching these details come in, we can see that the entire terrain is extremely hilly. And the crash was fatal because we are learning that, and in fact, we have pictures of that as well, where we can see that the entire plane has been broken into multiple pieces.
Well, rightly said, Shivangi. Such was the plane crash, such was the intensity of that plane crash that every part, every piece of that plane has been scattered. Remember, it was a newly inaugurated airport there, and what we are getting to know is that it was a 72-seater plane where there were almost 68 plus passengers on board. Number of casualties have not been given out yet officially, so we cannot say anything about that. But as far as we can talk